Hello and welcome back to another episode of the One Piece chapter analysis. This is chapter 5, titled The King of the Pirates and the Master Swordsman. From where we last left off, Luffy had grabbed 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 and started running off trying to find Zoro's swords so that he could free him and have him join his crew, and that is exactly where we start now. Luffy asks 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 where Zoro's swords are as they're running down this long hallway. 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 is screaming that he's hurting him, but that they're in his room and that they had already passed it a long way back. So Luffy hits him. Then the Marines show up, pointing their guns at Luffy, saying that they need to drop 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 or they'll shoot. Luffy is using 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 as a human shield now, saying that it's perfectly fine if they want to shoot. Luffy isn't worried about getting hit at all, but 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘, on the other hand, is just a regular person. We then get back to Koby, now realizing that he's been shot and he's bleeding out, thinking that he's gonna die. Zoro and Koby kind of have this one-to-one with each other. Zoro's glad that he's alive, telling him that since he is, he needs to get out of here before he does die. But Koby doesn't want to give up on what he came here to do. He came here to free Zoro. Zoro's still going on about this honor system, and Koby finally telling him that he was never going to be freed in the first place. 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 was going to have him killed in 3 days. That's why Luffy retaliated so hard during the last chapter. Koby says that the Navy is now Zoro's enemy, that he needs to be untied so that he can help Luffy. He goes on to say that Luffy saved Koby's life. He's not asking for Zoro to become a pirate, but he needs to at least help out his new friend. Now the Marines have started to corner them as well, stating that Captain Morgan has put an order out for them to be executed. We cut back to Luffy and 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘 now in 𝙲𝚘𝚎𝚘's room. They found the swords, but Luffy's not sure which one belongs to Zoro. Luffy looks out the window to see what's going on, seeing all the Marines pointing their guns at Koby and Zoro. We get more of Captain 𝚤𝚤𝚘 Morgan just kind of falling apart mentally. He says that they need to surround the entire fortress. If Straw Hat escapes, you'll all be sorry. He thinks that Zoro and Koby and Luffy are trying to overthrow him. He says that peasants and pirates may tremble at Zoro's name, but that he's not a match for the great Captain Morgan. And this is where I really think that he's starting to become delusional. He's referring to Zoro as a barracuda, whereas he's a great white shark. I understand the analogy, small fish, big fish, small fish, big pond. But to me, it just really feels like Captain Morgan is just really falling apart. Captain Morgan tells the soldiers to take aim, and we get Zoro realizing that he can't die yet, that there's still things that he has to do, and we get to see more about Zoro's dream. We cut back into a flashback about how Zoro made a promise, how when he was a kid, he used to fight with a girl named Kuina, and that Kuina had over 2,000 wins on Zoro even though he was using 2 swords. Zoro thought that using 2 swords would make him twice as strong as anyone who used 1 sword. So this is Kuina. Kuina is Zoro's childhood friend, and really his rival. But Kuina is also kind of a jerk to Zoro. She says that he's pathetic, kind of weak for a boy. She makes the other children who are also training to become swordsmen very mad. They think that she's entitled just because she's the swordmaster's daughter. She goes on, even if you can use 2 swords, you're still weak. Losers should learn to suffer defeat in silence. We move forward to Kuina's dad laughing it off. He thinks it's odd that he keeps losing to her even though he is quite strong. Zoro's naturally upset. I mean, who wouldn't be if you fought against someone 2,000 times and couldn't win even once? Zoro declares that he's going to sail the seas and become the greatest swordsmaster in the world. This is Zoro's dream, and this is the manifestation of it. He wants to be the best. He wants to know that there is no one standing equal to him. So he challenges Kuina again, this time with real swords. Much like how Luffy believes that your dream is the only thing that's worth dying for, with Zoro, he needs to take the risk of injury, of real loss, in order to achieve what he wants. A fake duel won't prove as much to Zoro's esteem as much as a real duel can. So Kuina agrees. They fight, and Zoro loses. That makes 2,001 losses for Zoro. Zoro says that he's frustrated for losing so much, but Kuina says that she's the one who should be frustrated. She says that when girls get older, they become weaker than boys, and pretty soon she's going to be outclassed by Zoro. Kuina's dad said that girls can't be master swordsmen. She says that he's lucky to be born a boy. Kuina wants to be the greatest swordsman too. Zoro gets really upset about this, saying, "Someday I'll beat you because I worked hard, not because you got weaker. It has nothing to do with being a boy or a girl." Zoro's training all the time to beat Kuina, and she's making him look bad by complaining about their physical differences. What it comes down to is skill in Zoro's eyes, not the stature of who you are. So they make a promise that one day one of them is going to become the strongest swordsman in the world, and she accepts. The next day, however, there was an accident. Kuina fell downstairs and died. And I want to put a pin in this and just talk about this for a moment, because I think that there are a number of weird theories about this, where people believe that Kuina didn't die, that this was all some master conspiracy to hide Kuina from Zoro. And I've read a number of these theories, and I think that they're all crazy. One Piece kind of has this general conception that if you show up first in a flashback, there's a pretty good reason to believe that you're dead. And that if you're a main character, there is going to be trauma in your life that leads you to becoming a main character. Do I think that Kuina's death is silly? Yes. Do I think that she somehow avoided death and is being held as this hidden master swordsman somewhere in the current timeline? No, I think this was just Oda trying to write this character out quickly and give Zoro his motivation. Anyway, back to the chapter. Zoro is upset, saying that she made a promise and she can't run away from it. Kuina's dad says that humans are fragile things, that eventually everyone is going to die, and I think for Zoro this was the first time he really thought or had to think about someone dying. Kuina's dad says that humans are fragile things, that sometimes people die, and you need to accept that. Zoro asks Kuina's dad if he can hold on to her sword, the Wadoichimonji, and I'll talk more about swords in One Piece when they become more relevant, but for now, just understand that Zoro is being given a highly sought after sword that Kuina had, even though her dad didn't want her to become a master swordsman. I guess maybe if he didn't have any other kids, he would have to pass it on to her. Regardless, we move on. Zoro says that he's going to have to keep the promise for both of them, that he's going to become such a great master swordsman that his name will be known even in heaven. Zoro promised her, so he can't die here. It's not his time. Cutting back to Luffy doing something crazy and shooting himself out of a window as Captain Morgan says fire. Luckily, Luffy is able to make it just in the nick of time and block the bullets because he is made of rubber. I really love Captain Morgan's face here, but I also just really love the application of Luffy's fruit, that he can just literally bounce bullets off of his skin and not have them affect him, and also just have them shoot back at the exact same spot they were coming from. Zoro is naturally scared, asking Luffy what he is, and Luffy replies, he's going to be the man who's king of the pirates. There's not much more to talk about there. Luffy said he didn't know which sword was Zoro, so he just brought all of them. Zoro says that they're all his, that he practices Santoryu, which is three-sword style. Looking at the oncoming Marines, Luffy says, if you fight the Navy with me here and now, in the eyes of the government, you'll be one of the bad guys. Or you could just obey the law and let them kill you. Zoro replies, you must be a demon spawn, but I'm not ready to die without a fight, so you've got yourself a pirate. Which means if we throw back to the wonderful chart that I made in the first chapter, Luffy has now gotten him his first crewmate, and the pirate hunter, Zoro. Anyway, that does it for this chapter. That was chapter 5, the King of the Pirates and the Master Swordsman. As always, thank you for watching. If you like the video, feel free to leave a like. Follow along for more videos. Follow me on Twitch at the same name. I stream. I play games that I feel like. Right now, I'm doing a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Soul Silver, so if that's something that would interest you, feel free to tune in. Until next time.